most original answer, but I feel like
What do you think of dating apps?
sure.
Do you think they work? Do you think that just work for some people, or it creates like this kind of like it overloads people with choice, and at the end they find it harder to find the right partner for them?
I don't know. I mean, the commodification of the human, of course, is up to discussion, perhaps. The whole mechanism of how it's constructed, and the fact that, I mean, I know from whenever I was using dating apps, I feel like I was getting more of a kick out of just the game of it than an actual connection. So you kind of, I feel like half the times people who go on dating apps are more so maybe looking for validation than looking for an actual partner. And I was speaking to this woman who actually works in a dating app, one of the major dating apps, and she told me that yeah, what did she say? She was like, yeah, so she was like, we encourage people to first establish some sort of social dynamic where they are present and comfortable and they already have connections to build off of, and then get into the experience of dating, whether online, offline, however you prefer. But having that base in place in the beginning, not having your potential online date be your only anchor to like human connection. I feel like as long as you have like the ground covered, you can find dating success anywhere,
But women say that Berlin is a city where it's very hard to find a partner or a stable partner.
I mean, I think Berlin is what you make it. So if you make it a place that does not allow space for stable connections, it will be that place. But, I feel like different people live in different Berlins. Some people live in, the Prenzlauer Berg kind of Berlin, where they go out on a Sunday with their dog and then they get ice cream and they, go to the flea market and, pick out a mid-century chair and have a lovely chat with their neighbor. Yeah. But then there are people who live in the other type of Berlin, in like the Kreuzberg after hour type of Berlin. And they would obviously have different experience. And it's easy to forget that like the universe that surrounds you is not the only version of the universe out there. And you could just have to like reach out there if you're looking for a change. And I mean, not to, both are, again, valid lifestyle choices, but they just enable different level of connection and different intention really coming into, be it romantic or be it friendships.
I like the description of a person who lives in Prenzlauer Berg.
It's very family. It's very, it's cute. I mean,
People might say that Mitte is a bit mainstream or for tourists. How would you defend that argument?
Mainstream. First of all, I'm not, I was doing this other podcast and the host was like, well, it's kind of like one of your goals is to like get people to come to Mitte. And I was like, I'm not like, I just happen to live here. I'm not like recruiting. I'm not a spokesperson for Mitte. But is it mainstream? I mean, I guess. If you look at where the movies are filmed in Berlin, 80% of filming locations are always in Mitte. Because it's Berlin. When you think of Berlin, especially if you're an outsider to Berlin, you think perhaps something that's most likely in Mitte. You think Brandenburg Gate, you think Alexanderplatz, TV Tower, whatever. So it is a little bit, it's not a hidden, hidden gem, hidden away somewhere, and you have to like, it's quite out there. It's I mean, it's a center, middle. It's in the name. It's a meeting point, you know what I mean? And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. And I don't think Berlin has the same level of tourism like Barcelona, where like the locals are like frustrated to the point of marching and, cursing at tourists. I don't think it's that
people in
exactly.
the cafes.
Like, I don't think it's that dramatic because I live in Mitte, and I mean, other tourists in my neighborhood I mean, I guess, does it affect me?
I mean,
don't
there's
think so.
different kind of Mitte, right? Like there's the Mitte Alexanderplatz or the Mitte Rosenthaler Platz, or
The
you
best
know,
kind, yeah.
yeah.
What's the third? Wedding?
um, I don't think wedding is not Mitte. Moabit is not Mitte.
Yeah.
I mean, feels like, but or technically maybe it is. The Rathaus might be the same, but the Mitte. I mean, Friedrichstraße would be the other kind of Mitte.
True.
Friedrichstraße is still Alexanderplatz Mitte. I'm not fan of it.
Yeah.
Rosenthaler Platz area.
The best kind of Mitte, yeah.
Yeah, the best kind of Mitte.
I always think of it as like a Russian doll, where like you have the bigger one, which is Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Inside you have Berlin, completely the opposite of Germany. Inside Berlin you have Mitte, which is not really Berlin. It's not representative. And inside Mitte you have Alexanderplatz, which is the tiniest one, which is not Mitte. So you have those like layers of contradiction where this thing is that thing, but that thing is not that thing. And it's all like a melting pot of stereotypes and expectations and realities kind of overlapping. But yeah, Alexanderplatz, perhaps not the vibe.
It's not the favorite place.
That's always the vibe. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, when I saw that crossroads for the first time, I thought, that's one of that I like a lot, because I thought, wow, this feels like a city like very vibrant. And the second crossroads that I like is the one from Everswalder Straße in Prenzlauer Berg. That's also another one that I just like to stand there and just watch everything happening. Like the U-Bahn, the tram, the people crossing, the people on the bikes. Is like you can just stand there and watch for a while and see a lot of different kind of lives passing by.
I'm very into that. I feel like people in Germany, or people native to Germany perhaps, kind of underestimate the pleasures and the excitement of people watching. I'm such a big fan. I love to just like sit there. You know how we do in Paris when you just sit there like with a cup of coffee and just like stare at people. I love that. I don't think people do that enough. I don't think there's enough spaces to do that, quite frankly. Yeah. But Rosenthal Platz is one of those lucrative corners of Berlin where you can in fact sit down. Maybe not at St. Oberholz, but someplace, whatever.